Which brings us on to our guest for today.
Yes.
Welcome, Rai-Man.
Hello.
Big up, how's it going?
Good, yeah, man. Good. You?
Yeah, all good. Thank you very much for coming on today.
It's all good, man. It's all good. Supporting, local love, local scene.
Good man. So obviously known now as Rain MC, formerly Rai-Man. So why the name change, man? What happened there?
Oh, mate, it's maturing, man. Like Rai-Man came from like some aggy 16-year-old angsty teen. Do you know what I mean? Who just wanted to spit grime bars.
Yeah.
Like, so Rai-Man came from a weird place. Like the older I got, shit changes, mate. Just maturing.
Yeah.
Maturing, and then Rain it represents something completely different. I feel. That's really the main reason behind the change, and because Rai-Man didn't have the best reputation for certain things, so there's that.
Sounds like there's a lot to drill into there, man. But so was your introduction to music through Grime?
Yeah, man. Like I personally, I was blind to UK hip hop, UK grime, anything until about 16, 17, and I was sat with my mate in a bedroom just chilling, and he found Risky Roads 2 on LimeWire.
Nice.
Back in the day, and then I watched, it was Big H and then Skepta, and that was it. I was gassed, mate.
Yeah.
And then from there, I just got into my mate got into production. I started spitting bars, and then I started to hear stuff like Plan B, and Plan B's easily one of my favourite artists of all time. It's conceptual. He was spitting some real stuff.
That album, Who Needs Actions, you got words.
Unbelievable album.
Yeah, it's great.
Jake, because you're a bit of a Plan B fan, aren't you?
I like the Who Needs Actions, If You Got Words album, sick. I like him now as whatever he's doing.
He just transitioned, he just evolved, didn't he? Which is cool. But I remember that first video I saw for No Good, and it was like stop-start animation, like claymation or something.
He's that Who Needs Actions When You Got Words was deep, and then he did Paint It Blacker, which was a mixtape, but it had some, he was one of the first artists I ever heard who tackled weird subjects. There's a tune called Susanna.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's like Leonard Cohen ensemble.
Yeah, unbelievable. The concept's sick. Writing and Paint It. Happy as Larry. Happy as Larry is easily one of the darkest songs I've ever heard, but it used to blow my mind. So
going back to that Suzanne track. Just to elaborate, so that's the one it's about a hooker, isn't it? Who's murdered.
Yeah, by
Camden Lock.
Yeah, Camden Ripper. Yeah, it's a true. It's based on a true story in it.
We'll have to put that track in the show notes, man. Because it's,
You
heard that, Aiden?
I'll be honest, I haven't.
Oh,
you talk about Plan B, but I'm gonna now demonstrate my lack of knowledge of mainstream music.
It's not it wasn't mainstream, but I think more of demonstrate your age. I mean, you're 23, so that's probably why. Obviously, Plan B kind of transitioned into more of a commercial artist, but beforehand he was very much he was just kind of
he could sing.
Straight up rapper, man. Do you know what I mean?
And he was one of the first rappers as well that I heard pick up a guitar, produce his own music, sing to that, and then rap to it as well, and chuck in a concept I forgot. There's a song. Can't remember what it's called, but it's about smoking, and I know people who quit smoking because of that song.
Yeah, I know.
It's about it goes through time, and it's about a dude who's just smoking ciggies, and it keeps going through different points in his life, and really hard hitting song.
And
it unbelievable. Blew people's minds back in the day.
It actually made people stop smoking. That's mad.
I know someone who doesn't smoke to this day.
Is it Cast a Light?
Cast a Light.
Yeah,
that's it. Plan B's easily one of the most creative people I've ever seen in UK music. From then doing films, have you listened to the All Manners album, or have you seen the film?
Yeah.
Album that comes with that. Fucking sick, man. Fucking sick.
Nice. I will have to check it out. Do some homework. Tom, literally every single week, I get homework from Tom. We have this WhatsApp group chat, and it's just songs every single day. Listen to this. I don't listen to any of them.
That happened with
I keep meaning to, but just never do it.
I know the song, but remind me what it's about.
It's dark.
I've got the song in my head.
It's that Happy as Larry and all of that.
Yeah.
And there's a guy called Larry waiting, and it's about a guy basically raping a girl and then dude getting his own back.
Yeah, 100% remember
Yeah.
now.
Fucking
Yeah, I
amazing.
just needed that.
But Paint
nudge.
the Black of the mixtape was amazing as well.
So I think he was kind of like, that was on the cusp of his commercial success, wasn't it? When he did Ill Manners.
Yeah,
It's
because he
a
was.
dark
he had
film
done-
though. It's not a pleasant watch, is it? It's just very very bleak. It's got Ed Skrein in it as well.
Yeah.
I remember that was like the first time I saw him after as an actor. Obviously,
Yeah.
been doing this stuff with foreign beggars for a long time. But it's
No,
again,
fucking he Plan B with Ill Manners. If you remember, do you remember he did that defamation of Strickland Banks?
Yeah.
Because that was when he started going to soul.
Yeah.
Now he's a completely different artist. If you see him now, he's really skinny. He's got blonde hair. Just sings, doesn't really rap anymore.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It does look really quite odd now.
It looks weird,
Because
doesn't it?
he's rocking this blonde
Yeah.
quiff, isn't
And
he?
he's super skinny.
Yeah,
Plan
real
B was
skinny.
always a big dude.
Yeah.
Always a big dude.
yeah,
So-
I can't really picture him at the moment. I mean, to be honest, I've been out of the loop for a while with his music. Probably more and more towards kind of the Strickland Banks thing, which I thought was a good album. I thought it was
Different.
I
fully
think-
commercial.
but I think it's just because it wasn't what people were used to from him. If you were
Yeah.
following him since day dot,
You remember that Aggie, no more eating, fucking.
there's no more eating in reference to Skinny Man in that track. I can't remember what track it is from Council State of Mind, where he's just no more eating for them now, and that just Who Needs Actions When They Got Words really reminded me a lot tonally of Skinny Man's Council State of Mind.
Yeah.
Almost kind of
A real
a
struggle.
reimagining of it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he did his thing.
And with the defamation of Strickland Banks, I didn't like the singing. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't really interest me when it came out. But again, a concept album on a commercial level, a whole album based around a story, sort of
So Jake's just showing me the photo with Plan B now. Yeah, that's got
So
a
wait,
weird
what's
chin
this
strap
picture of?
kind of thing going down.
That's Plan B.
What the
Alright.
fuck is
Now-
that? What's that on his chin?
That's just the light reflecting off his face.
Oh right.
So-
I thought it's just
He had a
a
white
theme
trim
blocking.
cinder strap.
Yeah, right. Well, every photo seems to have it. But look how he used to be a chunky guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, we digress.
So bringing it back to you then, man. How did you first get into kind of writing music and deciding it was something you wanted to pursue?
Oh man, it was it was that Big H freestyle from Risky Rose 2. I used to spit the bars on other beats. People would be like, Ben, spit the Big H bar, and then it became I'd be at a party and people started doing it, and then I was like, fuck this, it's someone else's bars, it's fuck, and I started writing them, and yeah, I got into it, and this is gonna show my age fully now, right? But I originally started writing bars and then putting tunes on Bebo. Yeah, that.
Mate, I was around then, mate. I think I'm older than you, so.
I had tunes on Bebo, yeah, and they were just the most dead tunes.
I had Bebo. I think I
You
had
did not
Bebo.
have Bebo,
I
man.
fucking didn't. I didn't have. MySpace was the one I didn't have.
Oh right, yeah.
I didn't have MySpace. I had Bebo. I knew about ordering your friends and shit.
Yeah, man.
Top 16.
Oh, damn,
that's fine.
Other half.
Yeah, it's pretty controversial, come to think of it. I mean, if that happened now,
Big up
Oh,
Pete.
yeah.
You were around when it was black and grey TV, weren't you? So.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Grab a
Black
phones
and
and all
grey.
that shit.
Black and white.
Black and white. Grey just evolved from black and white at the time.
But no, man. Then I started spitting. I then had a friend called Ryan. Me and him started spitting together. We became this little clique called Army of Two.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a really fucking weird.
Stupid question,
This
but
is-
how many of you were there?
This is where it gets a bit weird, right? I became friends. Well, Ryan was friends with this guy, this dancer, yeah, who's 15 years older than us, called Tim, right? And Tim used to be Kylie Minogue's choreographer and shit, right? He used to go and do tours with her and shit. It was weird. So we just had this link up with this guy who had all these music links in Bournemouth.
Yeah.
We knew he knew the owner of the O2, so we used to be able to go backstage and meet everyone and all that shit. And then he took us to some swanky fucking house down in Christchurch. It was a banger. This studio we went into was the size of this room. It was a fucking sick studio, and that was the first time I ever spat bars in a studio. But he didn't have a beat, so he made me spit over a metronome. And then he started building a beat around the metronome, It was weird, mate.
That's a really backwards way to do it, isn't it? Because normally you have the beat and then go over the beat. That's
or
mad.
even like
I just had bars,
Yeah,
and then he was like spitting, and while I was spitting him, he started like, you know, catching the beat, and then just put a metronome to it, and was like spit over that, and then went back like a few days later, he had produced some sick beat around it, so then we just put that out, and then that's how I fully started getting into barring, like, and then started just randomly getting on gigs and shit. Like,
you've been involved in like the Bournemouth scene for like some time now. So like, do you want to kind of talk a little bit more about like how that was back when you first got into it and how it's evolved over time, or?
Yeah. When I first got into it, I can't even remember if Say It and Spray existed at the time.
So for those that are listening, so Say It and Spray It is. It's basically a YouTube channel. Is that what it is? Or?
Yeah. So it's just a YouTube. It was a freestyle platform. It originally started as like, you know, SBTV, the way SBTV started, JDZ Media, all that shit. It was literally that hype. Like, it was when they were big.
That was always Bournemouth's version of it, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then it started branching out to Southwest, so then it's doing Weymouth and shit like that. I'm pretty sure it was about when we started putting together like KBU and stuff, and at the time you had like Cosm, Sir Mike, Diaz. There weren't many MCs. Like, there was a few, but they were really hip hop. And then we had loads of like up and coming grime MCs who just appeared. Like you had like, you know, Merkers, Florio, Jawsy, Clue, Sketch. I've gone for ages. Crims. Everyone just coming up, and Damage, LB Gang, all that shit. And then little gangs started appearing, little cliques, and everyone just started trying to bar, like, and trying to actually build a scene. But I felt like there was a scene, but the online presence wasn't as prominent as when all the youngers started coming up around that time.
So from me, an outsider, I did follow a lot of Say It and Spray It. When I was younger, and it seemed like, you know, on a, you know, if not weekly, then bi-weekly basis, there was new content coming out.
Yeah, 100%.
And new people sort of killing it, and it was like a new artist as well. Yeah. Every other week or so like that. Yeah. So it looked like you were smashing it. Really.
It was B-Dot. B-Dot was killing it, man. I'll be honest. Like, B-Dot was fucking on fire, mate.
So B-Dot was the guy running.
Yeah, man. He was the one running around, like, fucking driving places, filming people for free, like, you know, if people wanted to get known, like, freestyles for free, and then, you know, you had something out there, regardless of this is before everyone started using, we were using SoundCloud a bit, but it became about YouTube at the time, and it was about that visual presence, and everyone started jumping on that, and he was putting the work in, do you know what I mean? He was the one going around filming them all, fucking going back, editing it, and there was a lot going on. Like, he was just smashing it, and then I'd say Say It and Spray It is a massive part of how the scene shaped down there. Like, if you look at the crews that were out, there was like teams in like Pool and shit, like Dark Matter Labs and stuff, who were putting out videos. They weren't really using like Say It and Spray It, they were doing it on their own.
Yeah.
But it was all around the same time, and you had like, what is it? Digits TV? That, mate. There you go. That's showing my age fully. Digits TV was like before Say It and Spray It, right? Because Say It and Spray It came just after. So Digits TV had like videos with like Cosm and Sir Mike and Diaz and all that shit, and Diolo and
Digits
TV. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the date. Look up like Bournemouth All Stars. Yeah, Bournemouth All Stars.
I saw that video, man. Like, was there just like one or two tracks that were released through? Like everyone did one track that was kind of like, is it not Bombs Over Bournemouth or something?
Bombs Over Bournemouth was Cosm's mixtape. That was fun.
No. Sorry, not that mixtape. But there was a track and there was a video and it had all of those guys on.
They had Bournemouth All Stars was like a video filmed, you know, in fucking Sherbet Lounge.
I've got cheerleaders coming up.
Look up Bournemouth All Stars, and that will then you'll find you should, if it's still on there, you should then find Digits TV through that, and then you'll find all the artists from before.
Digits. Okay, I've found it now. So Digits. If you want to have a look at Digits TV space visuals.
Yeah.
Okay. B-Town All Stars.
Yeah, man. Like, there you go. That's like old school. Like, that's the the scene that was there, and they had put it in place really. It was then the new platforms arrived.
And what year was it? Or what years?
Mate, I can't remember, man.
So that like built the foundation, and that's when the kind of time that you came into this.
Yeah. I'd say so, man. Like Cosm, Sir Mike, all that lot. They were the ones that I know were doing it, and then you had like a few drum and bass MCs who were doing gigs and shit like that. But I'd say drum and bass is a very different scene because you don't really get music videos. You get people like Harry Shotter and shit.
Yeah.
But it's not really a online thing. Obviously it's nowhere near as much as hip hop or grime.
So like obviously like grime, is that like your kind of like preferential like style?
Yeah, well it used to be, and that's where I'd say a massive split comes in between Rai-Man and Rain.
Okay, so is Rai-Man, was that kind of like predominantly grime, or was that like a bit of both?
Yeah, it was mainly grime.
Because when I saw you,
massively grime.
You and obviously talking to Cosm, you guys supported Wu-Tang like a few years back in Boscombe. And that was obviously kind of like a hip hop set, and you kind of like you rocked it, and it was kind of like you say you're quite a versatile artist. You can hop on either beat, depending on what mood you're in. Yeah. How does that work for you?
To be honest, I've moved a lot away from grime. Now and then I'll find a beat that really works for me, and I'll just be able to write. Like I've released like one or two in the last few years that are just, I just was able to write to.
Yeah.
But I'm not too sure. It's a bit weird. Like with hip hop as well, I can't really do boom bap that much anymore. Like I used to love doing boom bap.
Yeah.
I only really enjoy writing to it now if I'm writing with the other Shaolin Monkeys, Mood, Dread and Cosm. But if I'm not writing with them, I'd rather just write to some weird shit, man. Like at the moment I'm just writing to some trippy ass beats, man.
So before we go into kind of more the stuff you're doing now, if you like rewind back to the Shaolin Monkeys, how did you guys form?
That was mainly through KBU. So KBU had like 20 members, as I say. Like we had producers, DJs, and MCs, and that you had some over in Swanage. We had some of them were from Swanage, so you had like Crims, Magics, Visions, and Gritty, who were over from Swanage. They had their own studio there. And then
Swanage.
Those boys are sick, man. Like they genuinely built this whole studio themselves and everything like out of nothing.
Yeah.
Fucking sick. Like I don't know if you ever heard of it. They used to run a radio show online called 729 Grime Online, and they hosted clashes and shit. Like they're online, they're on set and spread.
Did you ever do a clash in Swanage?
I did, yeah. And it was breeze, mate. Like, it was probably about the size of this room, yeah. The studio, and you had 30 man. All rammed into this room, and it was just proper grime set, man. If you watch the clash, you can't really see anything. It's just really me. You can see our faces real up close because the camera couldn't.
Yeah, no. I think I know the one. Who are you battling?
First in Browns is a
you bodied that.
It was just a grime clash, but it was in my hometown. Do you know what I mean? I was always comfortable in my hometown. It's when you leave. When you leave the end, it gets a bit weird. But
they get quite.
I want to hear more about these, more about the clashes, but I just wanted to go back there. So you said obviously you supported Wu-Tang.
Yeah, man.
What was that like?
Oh, it was good, mate. It was. I just got a call from Cosm, and I'm pretty sure it was a WhatsApp, and he was just like, "Do you want to support Wu-Tang?" And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I've got an opportunity to support Wu-Tang." I was like, "Yeah, cool." Like, so I've just done it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It was cool, mate. Like,
WhatsApp's mainly just get the kettle on rounds, put the coffee on. Do you want to support Wu-Tang? Nah, I'm busy that day, mate.
It's a weird one. It's a weird one to get though, because how do you take that as well? I personally, this is a real. Again, this may be a bit controversial, but I grew up on Wu-Tang, man. I grew up on the first proper American hip hop album I got was Nas.
Yeah.
It was written.
Yeah.
My mum gave it to me, and then 50 Cent, and I grew up really on the Dre records and all that shit.
Yeah, like the West Coast stuff.
Yeah, so when I then got Wu-Tang, and the thing is, Method Man's my shit. Yeah, I love Method Man. Out of all the Wu-Tang, right? I think they're all good in their own right. Raekwon's obviously a don as well.
Yeah.
But I knew Method Man weren't going to be there as well, so I was like, fuck, like, it's still going to be sick, but, you know, I'm not going to get to meet it.
And did you do the grime track you did all?
No, we did, like, I did hip hop with Cosm, because Cosm was like, look, I've got a few tracks, like, jump on these, chuck a few 16s on. Oh man, and it was peak, like, I did those tracks, I sent them to Cosm like 3 weeks early, like, right, learn the bars, yeah, because I'm not standing in front of 2,000 people or whatever, and I'm not fucking spitting the bars on my own, yeah, I want ad-libs. Didn't ad-lib me once, mate. I was just stood there like spitting these bars, like making sure I had to get to the end of every 16.
To be fair,
it's solid 16s, like.
You don't want to be fucking up on that platform.
No,
I remember you had quite a lot of big hair at the time, man. I remember. I remember.
Big afro, mate. Big afro.
When did it go?
I just say it's age again, bro. Like, nah, I just fucking keep it short now, mate. Keep it steezy.
Did you meet any of the Wu-Tang or?
Nah, this is weird. I don't really like if I'm around like I've been around, like, you know, we done I've done a warm up for Dead Prez, like at Winchester and like, and all, you know, I've always been like doing gigs where it's warming up for like Cement and Piff, 4 hours, that sort of shit. But I just don't like approaching anyone like that. I just don't. I don't like it, man. I feel like a fanboy when I do it.
Get the zone.
You played when the 4 hours played at Eden that time.
Yeah, man. We were warming up. It was me and Judge Dredd.
Yeah, I went to that. Man. That was sick. That was
a fucking fun gig, mate. Because it was the first time I got to do this tune called "Fuck the Promoter," and I said to G, I said, look, right, like, you know this ain't about you. You know who this is about, right? But it's not about you. Can I? He was like, fuck yeah, fucking perform it, man. And I released the mixtape like 2 weeks before. I think it was the Jekyll and Hyde mixtape, and I released it like 2 weeks before. And there was probably, it weren't a major amount of people, but there was shitloads of people there. And then there was like 5-6 people at the front who knew every fucking word, man, of Fuck the Promoter. So they were just getting gas because they know who I was talking about as well. So it was just. It was wild, mate.
Without like, you don't have to divulge like, who you're talking about.
We all know.
Do you want to elaborate?
No, yeah, okay. I'll tell you, man. I've got no problem saying, like, this guy is genuinely, from when I remember, genuinely disliked in the promoter scene. But there's this gig, I don't know. Should I dance around the words here? Should I? So wait, man. Dub Optic, yeah. It's called Dub Optic, and we were KBU and Shaolin Monkeys, yeah. Because obviously at this point, Dredd, and Moo were really doing Shaolin Monkeys. Cosm was still away, so he didn't really get to do the live gigs with us. So we were seriously like one of the first hip hop teams who were bringing hip hop to like fucking bass driven nights. Like, we'd go and do Vibes, which is dubstep and drum and bass, and it was weird because we'd stop the gig halfway through. So in a sense, you've got like drum and bass and dubstep on, and then they'd be like, yeah, next on is KBU and Shaolin Monkeys, and we'd then do hip hop for half an hour, and like you know, and everyone's buzzing off their tits. So it's a bit weird, right? But then Dub Optic started putting a room aside for like hip hop and stuff like that. And we were just doing this gig. We were meant to do this gig one night, and it was High Focus were there, and Dirty Dyke was there, right? And Dirty Dyke rolled into the gig at the time, and we were waiting, right? It's like 12 o'clock. We were meant to be on at 12. Fucking DJ's not getting off yet. It comes to 10 past 12. Dirty Dyke's waiting because we've told him like to come and check us out, blah blah, and he's waiting. Pretty slammed, like, do you know what I mean? He's fucking lashed at this point, right? And
it doesn't sound like him.
And DJ won't get off, yeah, like, genuinely won't get off. So at this point, everyone started like chanting KBU. He then threw like a fucking wobbler, right, and fully like started just dashing people in the crowd with his big DJ, like metal DJ box, like just fucking storming through. So one of my friends ended up confronting him. They got in a little fight at the back. I'm trying to set up, like trying to set this thing up. Oh, he turned the decks off as well, right? As he walked past, and we're like, mate, like, do you know what I mean? We're already 15 minutes late, like. And then he's best mates with the promoter. So the promoter rolls in. He sees it all kicking off, and then he pulls me to the side. And he starts chatting to me like, look, leave him alone. And I'm like, mate, I just wanted to get on. Like, I just wanted to do my gig. We asked him to go. Like, he's ran past the time by like 15, 20 minutes. And then it was all seemed calm for a second. And then he's like, look, like, do you mind going? And I'm like, I'll fucking leave. Like, I don't mind leaving. Like, at this point, mooing that and spitting bars. I'm like, I'll leave, yeah, I don't mind. Go to get my jacket, and he just fucking flings the door open, tries chucking me out of nowhere, yeah. But like, a quick reaction, right? Spun him out. Like, he went out. The bouncers hated this dude, right?
Yeah.
They actually left him out there and locked the door, and then he run back in on stage, right? So at this point, obviously, I'm pissed, yeah. I'm like genuinely pissed off at this point. So I run on stage, and I you know, obviously I shouldn't have done this, yeah. But I start flipping. I'm just like, fuck this place. Like, fuck everything. Turned all the music off. I'm just on the mic, like, yeah, you know. And the bouncers are all coming on, like, fuck you all, like. And then and then all of a sudden he's been let back in. He just fucking jumps up, swings, punches me in the back of the head on stage. So like, then I don't even do anything. I'm like, mate, push him away. It all starts kicking off with him. I get booted out, and then from there, like, it was sort of like a bit of a blacklisting. Like, people didn't want to fuck with us from that point. Yeah. And it got easily twisted by this dude because he had a massive influence in the scene back then. Do you know what I mean? Like, so the thing is, back then everyone wanted to put grime music on, but no one wanted to deal with grime artists. Like, you can't. They're not artists who you can just sort of go, you know, fucking. That's fine, cut his set off half an hour early. Yeah. Like, these MCs that used to go and do this, like, that was what they wanted to do. Like, if they were told they got an hour, they fucking would fight for that hour that they got, because it's all they got. Yeah. And there was a lot of promoters doing that. Like, and then we released Fuck the Promoter, and then, yeah, that went off, mate. Like, people loved that song, and it was, you know, people coming up to me all the time, like, oh, you know, I heard about it. Like, I genuinely have this story about it. And stories was just started coming out, and then, yeah, man, you don't really see that gig anymore.
We'll have to get a snippet of that track in the cut.
Fuck the Promoter.
Yeah, man, it's an Aggie track.
Yeah.
I wrote that in a very bad mood, man.
Get the promoter.
Here. Mate, get the promoter on, man.
Yeah, just do like a Joe Rogan here. Both perspectives of the story. He'll play the victim, no doubt. But yeah, so obviously you talk about your battle rap, and I watched the one you versus that Browns, and it seemed, you know, it seemed pretty one-sided from what I saw. But there was did you do one or two Don't Flop clashes or just one?
Yeah, man, I did 2 Don't Flop clashes, and when they came down, the Shaolin Monkeys done like a warm-up gig before the battles as well. Mm-hmm. So like we did the gig, and then I had a battle with this dude called Doot and Do or something his name was.
Oh, Nardwar.
But he was like some Norwegian guy, man. He was fucking. Oh, if you're looking at like conceptual music, yeah, if you want to, you know, take a trip down the weird, like he's good at that shit. Like, you know, genuinely good at that shit. But he Don't Flop, like with battling, like clashing came quite naturally with grime because it is just constant beef. Because constant beef.
When we were at Res Ones this weekend, we went to the pub afterwards and having a chat about just kind of grime and how the kind of distinguishing between hip hop and grime, and how grime is a lot more kind of direct in terms of its delivery. Yeah. Whereas like hip hop is more kind of almost like layered, and you know, you've got to break down the metaphors and all that kind of stuff. And but grime's very kind of. It's very kind of raw. It's really, do you know what I mean? It's visceral. It's really.
It's where where grime comes from, isn't it? Like, that's why with hip hop, like, I love like gritty hip hop. Yeah. If you know, I like the sort of. It's hard to explain, but the sort of cosmic artists, like man's space walking. Do you know what I mean? Like, doing all that shit, I rate it. Yeah, but. For me, chuck me some Rams and Bad Bones on, man, or some Kalashnikov, do you know what I mean? Like, all that shit. Kaiser, back in the day, Kaiser Smirnoff is fucking fire, like. Damn, but he doesn't.
The name I haven't heard.
Kaiser Smirnoff is like one of the best.
So you did Don't Flop?
Yeah, man.
And what was that like then?
Is it like fucking a cappella battle rap is one of the weirdest things you'll ever experience, man. Like, it's like being able to. It's the only time. You can sit there and say something, like genuinely just shred someone to bits, and it's like stand-up comedy, man. It's a very weird way of putting it. It's just stand-up comedy, but aiming it at someone.
How do you psych yourself up for something like that?
I used to do a lot of research, man. If I had a battle, I'd spend days finding out about them, everything. Like, I'd literally look into it. I'd be like, right, okay, so man's brother lives over here. Yeah.
How do you find that out though?
It's just finding links in the scene.
eBay.
Yeah.
It's finding
MySpace.
You know it, mate. You know it. Old school techniques. But mate, honestly, like it's with psyching yourself up for it. It's if you're used to barring anyway, it doesn't technically change. It's just you're spitting bars at someone. But the weird part is writing where you'd have a reaction. So if you know it's like a reload, yeah, especially on Grime, if you know you're spitting a bar that's going to be a reload, you then have to try and like dilute the next bar a bit so that then that one has time to hit a bit harder.
So there is an art to it, isn't there?
Oh yeah, man.
Definitely, man. Because obviously, like the whole point is landing those punchlines and getting crowd reaction, getting the points. So if you get the kind of like, oh shit, like that didn't necessarily land or they didn't catch that, perhaps repeat it.
Oh
maybe
yeah.
Emphasise it in a different way.
We did these battles, right? There was another Bournemouth, like Bournemouth had Bournemouth battles. Yeah, there's literally like a 30-40 second video on YouTube of the final. Yeah, and you had like loads of people in the scene from like, even actually thinking about it, you had like Sniper Tongue, yeah, who was like part of Roll with Double L from back in the day. And the prize was like £1,000, yeah. So when that first dropped, when they were like, yeah, you can win a grand, I was fucking gassed. Like there was like 6 rounds to it or whatever, but it was you go, there's 6 people, you all battle it out, and then I think 2 go through, and I think there was 4 rounds of that, and then there was like a finals night, yeah. And loads of my team went through as well, like 2 or 3 went through, so we had to battle at some point. And I just said to him, I'm like, look, like, we're not gonna go hard on each other. There's no point. Like, we're pals. Do you know what I mean? And then it came to the final night, and I ended up winning. But it was weird because they said, no, don't write anything. It's freestyle. So obviously, everyone wrote something. Yeah. So it was a really weird thing. Like, everyone was like, I swear, this is freestyle. And they'd just drop a sick punchline on you. And you're like, bullshit. Like, but then you'd do it to them. Do you know what I mean?
It's a common misconception, though, isn't there, around like freestyling and pre-written. Yeah. Because, freestyle it doesn't necessarily mean off the dome, does it?
It just means free of style, really. That's what my understanding of it is. I think I personally think the meaning of it diversifies on how you spit and where you're from. Yeah. Like, for me, it's me spitting bars which are over a beat that's not for them bars. Like, it's free of that style.
Yeah. So going on from that, because we chatted a little bit about like what inspires you at the moment, and you've got quite a kind of diverse and quite eclectic taste in music. Like it would seem like we talked a bit about like you derive influence from not just hip hop, not just grime, but other genres like soul and metal and all sorts. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, man. I don't see a point in like sticking to one genre. Like I will have times when I'll just genuinely like, it's normally winter where it's a weird one as well, but it's like seasonal on what you spit and write. Yeah. Like I during winter I'll start to just naturally write grime bars, and then during the summer I'll find that I can write hip hop bars.
That's the same with like sort of listening to music though, isn't it? Because I suppose like, for example, in like wintry times I find myself listening to more like drum and bass and that sort of stuff. And then more sort of like horrorcore, hip hop and that sort of. So then more summer, then it goes into a bit more. I do like a bit of electro swing, man. I listen to some of that stuff, and then like a bit of reggae and some lighter, sort of more chilled hip hop and like some like lo-fi.
Man, I dive down the rabbit hole, man. I listen to fucking anything. Like honestly, like my playlists are mad bizarre. But going on from that kind of mindset though. Like I was watching one of your music videos earlier this week, Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah. And that's almost kind of like a testament to like the versatility you as an artist. Like first part hip hop, second part grime, the switch up.
That's an incredible video, man.
Yeah, that was fucking dope.
So what was it like? Arranging that, filming that, everything.
I came up with the idea because the mixtape is Jekyll and Hyde, and 4 of the tracks are grime, and then there's like a weird little interlude which I made myself with all these fucking like Jekyll and Hyde things from back in the day, like old film clips and shit. So it changes from the start. It's like just really nice hip hop. Well, not nice, but just hip hop. And then the second half just turns to grime. But it was the idea for the video, like, there used to be a place just outside of Bournemouth in Ferndown, yeah, called Dormy Hotel, right? And Dormy Hotel was the shit. Like, if you just wanted to go and smash some windows, break some shit, it was
I know
fucking sick.
Just
mate.
to add a bit of context, so the video is, so you've got to go and watch it, but the video is basically shot in a massive abandoned sort of hotel. There's a few buildings, isn't
But
it?
yeah, it's insane. It had a theatre, it had a pool, it had restaurants, houses, a whole hotel.
And it's all just abandoned.
Yeah, it was left for years, mate. Like, it was left for, I think, like 15 years. So like, you'd be in there, mate. It was trippy as fuck in there though. It was really weird. But the idea for the video, like, one thing I tried to do is I always wanted to do strong visuals, but I never had the money to do strong visuals. So with that, we sort of went for the idea that in the middle of the video, when I have that drink, if you notice, all the clothes turn from light to dark. So then everything I'm wearing turns from white to black. And we tried to do stuff like that, which would be a bit more self-conscious,
more suggestive.
Someone watching.
Do you think so? Without, we've spoken about this before. With being on more of a budget, you do get more creative, though, don't you?
You have to be. You have to be, like. But then there's only so much you can do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you look at people who are putting a shitload into music videos. At the end of the day, it can only be so much if you're not being creative with it. So you're getting people fucking spending bags on renting a Rolls Royce and
do you get a lot of videos like that? Yeah,
exactly.
More so in grime now, I think, in the UK.
Yeah, and UK rap rap is massive. Like, you know, the link up TVs. You watch link up TV for a day. Like, it's mind numbing with the amount of fucking fresh Audis, 20 man stood in front of smoke with some bright lights next to two lovely Audis, right? And like Range Rovers and shit. Like, there's only so much you can do. So being creative, like.
But also that I mean, not you know, kind of. There's nothing wrong with doing that if that's your thing. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to portray. However, it's almost kind of like it's almost like a lack of imagination.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm just going to chuck my own and have all this good material shit, unless it's done in a satirical way. You know?
If you bar and, like, you know, I'm not saying, like, I love UK rap, man. Like, I love.
We all do.
I love that shit, mate. Like, I love the, you know, even the trap shit where it's just 6 man on the, you know, trill shit. But it's with like creativity on music videos. I've always found it. I'd love to have done more. I'd have loved to, like, you watch that, for instance, Childish Gambino's that This America, right? The idea behind that is so simple and it's easily doable. But then when you used to break it down, because we used to come up with ideas like that all the time, but then what you have to do is, you're not a videographer, so what you then have to do is sit there and think, right, fuck, like, we're going to have to do a cut here without a seamless cut as well. So we have to have something in the middle of if you want to do a continuous video, a seamless cut between, where we're going to have to try and turn the camera, but then you have to have perfect lighting for it. And you then have to really delve into everything if you want it to be perfect with your creative vision. So it's how you do that with nothing is a lot harder than just having a little bit.
Going back to the This Is America video, because that was directed by the guy who does Atlanta. Have you watched that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sick show, isn't it? But like,
start watching it actually. Yeah, man. It's the first episode.
It is Childish Gambino, I know, who does Atlanta. He writes Atlanta.
But I mean, like, the same director who directed the video, because he took influence from. Remember that film with Jennifer Lawrence came out, Mother? Have you seen that one?
I ain't seen that.
Did you hear about it?
Yeah, some weird concept, man. Like, super weird.
It's a nutty film. It's very polarising.
What is it? Explain.
Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah, Darren Aronofsky. Yeah. The guy who did like
Requiem for a
Dream, Black Swan, The Wrestler, and all of that shit. So he's very kind of experimental, but he made a film that's really polarising. It's all about kind of like Mother Earth, and there's a lot of kind of metaphors going on, all about kind of the Bible and like Jesus and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it basically, chaos ensues and it all builds up to this like really kind of climatic scene. But This Is America, it's almost kind of like exactly the same in terms of like things happen, you can't quite make sense of it. There's an obvious like metaphor behind it. And that's where he kind of drew his influence from. But it made for a fucking good music video.
Oh yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean?
Created, you know, don't get me wrong, that video cost money.
Yeah.
Right? But that's why that music video won shit. Like, that's why people love that shit.
But they invested the money wisely and they made something amazing rather than just kind of like, oh, well, let's get more expensive cars.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, let's make something that matters.
Like, have you seen that other Childish Gambino one, that Summertime video?
Yeah, the animated one.
Yeah, man. Like, such a simple animation.
He's walking on the street. Yeah.
I
love
that song, man.
It's
I fucking love that song.
You
It's
can
on
put
FIFA as well.
catchy song like that with a fucking sick little video, you can do a lot.
Yeah.
Ramson Bad Bones is a perfect example as well, because Ramson Bad Bones, November, that music video is so simple. It's just the game that do you remember that, where it's like a game. Yeah, it's like a old 16-bit game, and it's just him walking along and shit's happening, but in like 16 bits. So the concept's really simple, but if you put a catchy, not a catchy song, but something that resonates with people, it's always gonna do well.
Makes an impact. Have you seen that? Cause we spoke about music videos before in the podcast. Have you seen that Pass the Mic, high focus one with Coops?
No.
That's anime as well. That's really sort of it's really simply done. It's basically, is it four artists in it? 4 people in it. It's Coops.
Yeah, it's Coops, Rex, Flip Tricks, and Leaf Dog, I think.
And it's they're just animated, and it's just literally just an animated version of themselves, just rapping.
Okay.
And it goes from one to the other, but it's really sort of detailed. Like smoking and stuff like that. It's really
a roller. Do you know what I mean? It's a good roller.
You seen that the new Dirty Dyke one? The new Whoopsie Daisy.
Yeah.
That again, easy concept to do.
Whoops, it's called, isn't it?
Whoops, yeah.
Which one's that?
The one with Rag and Bowman and Jan Baxter.
Yeah.
That's not animated, is it?
No. I'm saying in regards to concept, right? If you look at that, like to shoot that, it's not going to cost major amounts, but it's catchy and it's a sick idea. So if you can make if you've got a fucking sick idea,
do you remember
the Jan Baxter mask video? You seen that?
No.
When it's him, Rag and Bone Man, and OG Roots, and they're sat around the table. And
wait, is it the one with the meal?
Yeah.
Mate, that's fucking sick.
That's so creative, like. And then Rag and Bone Man smashed it as well. I love when he was videos.
He can bar.
Do you remember that exhibit video? What you see is what you get, and it is almost like it's almost like the kind of precursor to This Is America.
No,
he just goes out. We talked about this on like the music video episode. Where he just goes out for a pint of milk, and all this crazy shit happens around him.
Wait, what was this one?
Exhibit. What you see is what you get. It's from like 97.
I don't think. Have you spoken about this before?
Yeah. So he just goes out of the house, goes for a pint of milk. All this shit happens, and he eventually gets his milk. But it's a fucking good video. And if you watch that kind of back to back with This Is America, you see a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
It's fucking. I've only literally discovered like Exhibit's back catalogue only recently.
Incredible.
Man. His
incredible.
Speed of Life is fucking incredible.
The Foundation, man.
Mate, the Foundation is.
Is one of the best tracks ever written.
It is. It's unbelievable, and I only found it recently, and it got me gassed, mate. I can't remember what it was on. It was on something. Or someone put it on, and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
Fucking incredible. Exhibit. I think it's a shame the way Exhibit went.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that now all he's known for is Pimp My Ride. Because then you listen to like Paparazzi, which is a complete contradiction, because he's like, it's all about him not wanting to be that. And then that's what he's viewed at now, man.
It was a decent programme, but then you heard like later on all the horror stories about the cars breaking down a week later, didn't they?
I'm not surprised, mate. They're polishing a turn this time, don't it?
Yeah, like fish tanks.
But then you had
boot and shit, man. Who needs that shit?
And then you had the kind of
TVs just everywhere.
It's mad,
and then the UK fucking Westwood version.
That was terrible, man.
Did you see Westwood? Yesterday, so Rodney P shared this like interview of like gigs in Westwood.
I swear this is from time ago, because this is only resurfaced.
It's only resurfaced, This was
because
like recently.
I remember this happening. Like this resurfaced again. Probably about, I think it must have been about 2 years ago, and he said it, and everyone was fucking kicking off about it.
Yeah, man.
Like,
so just to give
honest, I never knew who Rodney P was for years. Like, I didn't know who Task Force were for years.
Yeah,
like, as I say, with UK hip hop, it's something I was always very blind to when I was young, because. From down here, there was no promotion down here, and I was like young. So where did I had nowhere to find that music, and it's only recently But
that's totally like, obviously that's like expected if you don't have the exposure to it and not understanding it. But I think the kind of the gripe here was that he made his career off the back of hip hop, right? And he should have known better.
He produced some tracks for them as well.
Exactly,
He
man.
produced some
And to
tracks
say
on
some
it.
bait shit like, oh,
Yeah.
alright, like what was he said like Rodney P sounds like he's got like plums in his mouth.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
what
with
the fuck?
gigs, and it's
Yeah.
like he was
Big
trying
up
to
gigs,
like,
man. He
he
was-
was
but
trying
that's
to like
Westwood,
bait
man.
out gigs, so wasn't he? He was like trying to say, oh yeah, he's rubbish though, isn't he? Like trying to make gigs.
Mate, like, honestly, like, I
clickbait.
used to watch Westwood, yeah, like all day, yeah. Like the Grime MCing on Westwood was sick, yeah. There's right, for instance, this is Westwood perfectly explained, yeah. So him doing that is a prime example of Westwood. There's one where Ghetto is doing a freestyle, and he's clearly talking about Dizzy Rascal, yeah. Like he's spitting these bars, he's just slaying someone, and all Westwood keeps saying is say a name, yeah. And Ghetto's like, no, Westwood, I'm not saying a name. And he just keeps shouting, say a name, dog, say a name, and that's what he does, man. Like
He calls people out.
he
He
calls
doesn't.
people out.
Rodney P
Like
called
Mike
out
Righteous.
Westwood on
Say again, mate.
sorry.
Just in there with attack.
Yeah, no, sorry. Didn't Rodney P call out Westwood on the Charlie Sloth Fire in the Booth, the one that just came out this weekend?
I don't know, man. Elaborate.
Oh,
Have you
man,
listened
that's
to it?
might be why it's resurfaced then. If
That's probably why, because I only listened to it the other day.
This
And
is
Yeah.
the Apple Beats.
the Apple, the Apple Beats radio that obviously the Fire in the Booth that Charlie Sloth does. I'm pretty sure he does. I'm gonna have to go back and
Okay.
re-listen to it
Because I reckon if that's the case, then yeah,
That's
that's probably
right,
why
surface
it's
then, man.
come back up.
Because it was the Kingdom guys, wasn't it? It was like Black Twang and Rodney P were on
Black
most
Twang.
recent episode.
So with
Yeah.
with Tim Westwood, so obviously you're a huge Grime fan.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say you're a huge Westwood fan, right?
Let's put out some fire
You're a fan
mixtapes,
of
man. You
Westwood as
can't
well.
do that.
But
Westwood the DVD.
In a bit more of a-
www.westwood.com.
in a bit more of a topical
Sure,
sense,
my
so
age.
he got a lot of shit for sort of inciting gang violence, didn't he, recently?
Yeah, and I think I think that's
You see-
just.
you not
I'll be
see
honest.
Westwood
I think that's a
like
bit
that?
of like.
Okay.
So
So
Westwood
Westwood,
yeah.
was in the media
So-
a lot for inciting gang violence.
It's because of these like drill gangs, man. Drill gangs in London, like it's the whole scene at the moment. Like drill is genuinely like this massive thing at the moment where people want to get involved even if they're not in that life. Like it's horrible to watch, yeah, because you're watching spitters. Like I know people who aren't in that life and who are spitting bars about, you know, man will get dipped on the curb.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're like, really? Like, you know, why it may seem attractive on the tracks because they're killing it, but when you listen to some of them, man,
Some
like,
brutal stuff.
some of them are
Fucking
sick,
horrible.
yeah, but then some of them are just using it to diss each other. And I personally don't think like Westwood was guilty of anything, because what Westwood has always done is promote urban music. So I
Yeah.
think having them in his household to spit bars, and yeah, they were dissing people, but he's been involved in the music scene in the UK for fucking years. So like, and his was a massive platform for people. So I think him having people diss people on his show is nothing out of the ordinary for him.
Yeah.
And I think I feel like it was a bit of a reach from the media there, man. With that side of things,
you never know,
I feel
mate.
like it was a bit of a reach.
No, it's interesting. And going back to Don't Flop, because I've only recently started looking into the whole. Because you know there was a bit of breakdown of Don't Flop.
I mean, it was massive, mate. Like, there's no like battle rap scene anymore because of it. I'd say
So-
it exists, but weekly, man.
From what I understand, so obviously Don't Flop built up what they were.
Yeah.
Then there was a lot of thing about Erg not paying people, and then he had his reasons for not paying people because people weren't putting in the work in.
Yeah, man.
It broke up for a bit, then got back together.
And they tried to save it, didn't they, with
Tried-
like an event, and
Yeah.
it went wrong. Like, Don't Flop. I think it had. I think battle rap in the UK had sort of that time anyway. I think that people. The people who loved it then, like me, I fucking loved battle rap. I used to watch it fucking morning to night at one point. I'd get up in the morning, I'd go Don't Flop, and then you had other channels like fucking King of the Ronalds, but that was if you were desperate, and they were terrible battles. They were terrible battles, right? So I used to hate
funny
watching-
battles though.
Mate,
Some of
they
them
were
were really,
weird,
they
man.
were weird but really, really cringy.
Yeah, mate, they were horrible.
I
Right?
King of the
remember
Ronalds.
watching,
King of the
I
Ronalds, they
remember
were
watching
terrible
this.
battles, man.
I remember watching this one where it was just like in the front of the shop, and it was this white guy, and to be like, not condone it at all, but he said the M word, and did you see that?
I've probably seen it, mate. So I used to rinse
literally,
them,
and the video was just the rest of the video was him just getting like literally just abused by the crowd until they kicked him out of the venue. Like people were saying like you've got to leave or you're gonna get like hurt, and at the end of the video, it's him just literally just walking out down the road like away. I think the video was on for like a week and then it got deleted.
Because loads of weird shit happened on King of the Ronalds. Mate, loads of weird shit happened on like King of the Ronalds because it was like untethered shit. Yeah, people got punched. Like there's one where Pedro was like this, you know, he used to be massive on Don't Flop, like as a battle rapper, and he was killing it. His freestyle game was actually pretty sick. Like he used to be off the dome, pretty good. But he like ripped this kid's shirt on it. Like, and the kid just stood there and took it, like, and then carried on battling. Like, it was the weirdest thing in the world, man. Like, he's genuinely like just trying to bar with a ripped T-shirt. You know what I mean?
Do you think like there's obviously, you know, you alluded to it earlier. You said it's basically akin to like a stand-up comedy act.
Yeah.
So I mean, like you see people like Shuffle T and Marlowe, for example. Yeah. They must spend so much time writing and.
Mate, them two are fucking.
They're nuts, aren't they?
But I don't class that as, you know, it depends what you class as battle rapping, and I think that's why
it's more performance. It's more like performance art, isn't it?
I think they changed it to Don't Flop Entertainment for that reason, because people started discerning it and saying, well, wait a minute, this isn't even rap, like, it's literally two grown men stood in a room just dropping punchlines on each other, and it wasn't rapping. And then especially with like Shuffle T and Marlowe, they'd never released the track in their life.
And they were almost like
they were just comedians.
They were almost kind of like exempt from the kind of criticism, because like true MCs would go up against them, whatever that means. Like when I say an MC in like its purest form, and it would just like it wouldn't faze them because they had all of this rehearsed. Yeah. Their whole thing was that kind of sarcasm, the punchlines,
the middle class,
like
swanky.
You
know, well spoken.
Do you remember?
They're a genius, man.
Yeah,
they're genuinely genius. Like,
do you remember Mark Grice?
Mark Grice was amazing against Blizzard. Yeah. That battle was huge.
Did you see that?
What happened to Blizzard? Still about?
Blizzard.
Because he was a youngster when he first came out, wasn't he? He was like real young.
Tom, did you see that? Mark Grice.
Is he like a school teacher?
Yeah,
I saw
that. He's loads of other shit now. Loads of other shit.
He's an English teacher, wasn't he?
Yeah, man. I think he does. Like, he done some shit for TV. Like, you know, they've. The thing is with the breakdown with Don't Flop, like there was a lot of problems. Like people used to have a lot of problems with in general, like so you know, international artists, you know, if you ever watched like Battle Rap Resume or anything like that, Battle Rap Resume would be like 2-hour fucking conversations about this shit, like, and people used to like Disaster like spat in his face and all this shit.
Joking, man.
And people like hated her. But
I watched his one. I watched that.
That was a really interesting one, man. Hers was interesting because it's just a very interesting situation, man. They built something together, and that's what happens when money and friends, you know, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Like,
when I'm watching Don't Flop like, on YouTube and it's on shuffle, right, I can always tell if it's a new or an old episode because of like Er's weight. Like, if it's a new one, I'm just like, I'm just like, oh right, shit, he's got a ponytail and he's quite fat. So like, do you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
I love it.
Like, fat man. No disrespect, man.
But no, I was like a dope rapper as well.
But he did a lot for the scene, didn't he?
Man.
I'd say him and, you know, the original crew, like him, Bam, fucking Kruger, all that shit, who were on it from day, like when you had like the Brighton battles, you know, when you had like Rizzle kicks on there,
John
the Brighton battles, man, like those ones, and when you had O'Shea and all the original heads on there, I'd say they built really the battle rap scene in the UK. Apart from that, you had Jump Off actually. You had Jump Off originally.
But yeah, you had like Possessed from Rhine Asylum was on there, like Grain with and even like Stig at the Dump used to do.
Yeah, Jump Off.
Jump
Off was the
that's
first.
it's like before.
Yeah, it's like a precursor, man. But Jump Off had done everything. They had you know, beatbox battles, fucking Jeremy was on. Jeremy, Professor Green used to do MC battles on Jump Off. And that was on Jump Off, like he became like champion on there. And but the first street battle that Jump Off done was in Bournemouth. It was on Richmond Hill. And if you look it up, it was Stig at the Dump versus someone. I can't remember who it was, but Stig at the Dump, I'm pretty sure it was Stig at the Dump versus this guy from Bournemouth, and it was at the bottom of Richmond Hill. And with Jump Off TV, you used to win money at the end. I'm pretty sure it's called Wanner, and they'd chuck you a Wanner if you won. And that was like Jump Off used to kill it, but then Don't Flop came with that comedy side, the real, you know, comedians like Marlo and Shuffle T and all that came through, and you had this like unique scene that was being built, and it was cool, man. It was cool while it lasted. I think it's a shame it doesn't anymore, because I think battle rap is a certain type of art, and it's very niche.
You never know, man. I think it just takes like someone with like the intuition to kick it up again. Do you know?
Shotgun The Aux battle rap.
No, mate.
Yeah, budget on time. Yeah. You heard it here first. No, you didn't. This is just speculation. But so who are you listening to at the moment? Are you listening to like who's your kind of like go-to?
I don't really have anyone to go like any go-to albums at the moment. I'm sort of re-emerging in my old like music. I started listening to like I was listening to Dave, the other day, right?
Dave.
I was listening to Psychodrama.
Jake's a big fan of that latest album, aren't you, man?
Is fire, mate. The
100%.
concept. Leslie is. I love tunes like that. I loves me a conceptual song like that. Yeah.
That's the 12-minute, 11-minute long song.
Man.
That's a great story
it's
behind
sick.
it.
It's a sick story.
It's a sick album, and I think if you need to listen to it before you go and judge it.
But shots fired. 187. But fucking. Nah, I listen to. Have you ever heard of Black Box freestyles? Black Box freestyles.
No,
They're like normally like grime and rap and shit. But Dave done one on there, and I heard the instrumental for. Do you remember Eminem? No Apologies.
Yeah.
Like that song, I heard the instrumental again last night. So that sort of reignited my love for like the Re-Up album and shit like that. So it's just. You know,
sick
there's one or
instrumental,
two
No Apologies.
unbelievable instrumental. I forgot how good it is. And like, there's Eminem had a few instrumentals that are just untouchable, like Run Rabbit Run, 8 Mile.
The 8 Mile.
Fucking that whole album.
Is that the one where he's in the actual film?
Yeah. Where he's sat on the bus.
Yeah, and he's writing to it. 8 Mile Road. It's not that. It's
8 Mile
track,
Road,
isn't it? Yeah.
So you've been back to kind of writing a bit recently, haven't you? Obviously, we played it with Apple Trees, but you wrote a track recently again called Tainted Flowers.
Yeah.
And that reminded me a bit of. Did you hear like Vinnie Paz's latest album?
Yeah, what, the Bone Collector? The Bone Collector, was it?
Possibly. It looks like he's got a guy from like Fantastic
who's fucking crushing and shit, yeah.
But there's a track on there which was like really similar.
I know which one you mean.
Yeah.
What She Left Behind.
Yeah, man.
That track is sick, man. Like
he punches the kid,
cool
you hear
idea.
the crunch.
It's horrible.
It's a horrible track, man. But
and it's based on a true story.
Exactly.
So it's Vinnie Paz is fucking easily one of the best artists of all time, mate. His back catalogue is just incredible. Like he's untouchable. Like there's bars. Like if when people ask me like what I love about bars, it's a Vinnie Paz. There's like 2 or 3 Vinnie Paz bars which I always turn to, and it's like I'll have you taking shots like the local drunk. Oh no, my heart's cold like when the sea is frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Drug supplying and hold the iron like hemoglobin, and I just love bars like that you can then sit there after 10 minutes and be like, fuck, like
it's real.
That bar hit.
I remember I remember distinctly like probably about 8 or 9 years ago when I first got into Jedi Mind Tricks, and it was very much like hot summer, like gym music, heavy metal kings, just like him and Ill Bill. That fucking beat with like the Mobb Deep sample in it.
Yeah.
It was just that music. It's just heavy music because he's a big heavy metal fan himself.
Yeah, it's his voice as well, mate. Vinnie Paz has got like the most gruff voice. Like it's the same with like Onyx. That's why I love Onyx, because Onyx's voice, like Sticky Fingers and Fredro Starr, their voices are just perfect for rap. But like
he's on like a horrorcore tip for the most part, right? But then he releases obviously like you've got Razor Blade Salvation, which is a lot more candid and kind of like. It's a bit more personal.
Yeah.
I think he does kind of jump between the two quite well.
It is about diversifying, and that's why stuff like Tainted Flowers. I like writing stuff like Tainted Flowers.
So talk to us a little bit more about the track and like the full process.
It was I originally read a poem, and sometimes shit just hits you. Do you know what I mean? Like inspiration will sometimes just hit you, and it did sort of just hit me. I heard the poem, and then. It's weird, man. Like, some of my best bars, personally, I feel my best bars and my best tracks are written from like I do the full-on dad flex now. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like at night, sit there, I'll pass out on my sofa, I'll wake up at 3 in the morning spinning out with my TV still on there. And that is when I come up with my best bars, yeah. I don't know what it is, but I think it's just because I'm more open to thought at that time, I don't know. But that's when I think best. And I wrote that track in like half an hour, at like 3 o'clock in the morning from waking up from a nap. And then I was like, fuck, like I wrote the first half and I was like, this is fucking working. And then I thought about the second half and then I just couldn't stop writing, man.
Do you want me to tell you why?
Go on, Dreamscape, pineal gland.
Yeah, man, 100%. Like, if you fall asleep, like the logical part of your brain shuts down, but everything else wakes up. So like, if you wake up from a nap, that's probably why you're writing like all that stuff. Is because that part of your brain, like it's just still good.
I've had sleep paralysis before, man.
You need the rest.
It's fucking scary. Our missus literally woke up in the middle of the night and like you can't fucking move.
You can't speak, can't do anything, man. It's
so scary. You think normally though, don't you? Like it's not like you're.
Yeah.
It's fast.
Like I wrote this one track. I don't even know if I'm gonna release it yet. It's one of them. Like I've got like 10, 15 tracks which I'll never just release. They're just there, yeah. But it's one of these called brain fungus, yeah, and it was based on something I read called Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, yeah, which is like a zombie virus that exists amongst like ants and wasps and shit like that. And what happens is it like fucking takes people over, takes these ants over, and they fucking climb up a tree, and then the fungus grows out of them. And that's what it controls them to climb up trees and shit, right? So I wrote this song, but it is just a rhyme pattern. Literally, it makes no fucking sense. Like, there is not one bar in the whole song that makes any sense, but I just wrote a rhyme pattern, and I was like, you know, trying to write like 11 syllable rhyme patterns, and I was just like, and they worked. So I was like, okay, safe, but I'll probably never release it. Do you know what I mean? It's just one of these things, like, it's like an exercise.
I really want to hear the song.
Yeah,
but nah,
really you've got to repeat that 5 times.
It's so weird.
What the fungus was.
Like,
zombie ants.
It's the Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. That's what it's called.
That's mad. So when you're not rapping, when you're not doing hip hop, what do you do?
Oh mate, it's work and dad life, mate. And then if I get a chance, I go fucking skate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I can see you got the old Thrasher hat on, man. Rest in peace, Jake Phelps, recently, man.
Oh shit, that was really
deep. But some kids, we were out skating the other week, yeah. This is the exact problem again with, I'd say, a music influence, yeah, because of drill, right? We were out skating in Castle Point. These little kids roll up, yeah, like 14 years old, right? And they throw this trolley over the side at us and we're like, what are you doing, lads? Like, and then they're like, what you saying, bruv? Like, what, fam? Like, and you're like, mate, you genuinely live in Bournemouth, mate. Like, what are you doing? Do you know what I mean? And then they start like saying about how they're gonna dip us and we better get on 10 toes and all this shit, yeah? And it's just like, mate, come on. And then he started asking about, do I know who Harlem Spartans are? And I know who Harlem Spartans are because I listen to them. And they're just like a drill gang, yeah? And I'm like, yeah, I know who Harlem Spartans are, like, you know, and they're like, yeah, well, we'll get them. And I'm like, mate, like, come on, do you know what I mean? Like, this is the problem, like, dependent, like, hip-hop, I love the influence of hip-hop, because hip-hop's not like that, yeah? Like, even the more gangster shit, like 50 Cent, all that shit, when that was coming out, and he was beefing with Ja Rule, it still didn't have that level of influence.
It's sort of lyrical, it's almost lyrical, and then, I mean, you get the occasional sort of spin-off of a scrap or whatever.
Yeah. But that kid called my Thrasher hat shit, and it's hurt me to this day, man. Genuinely vexed.
Fuck that kid, whoever you are.
What did you say, like, that shit?
Mate, I just.
That shit, mate. What are you talking about?
He was just like Thrasher shit, mate. Like, that was it, and I was like, okay. You know what I mean? What to? I ain't gonna fucking argue with a 40-year-old boy. Do you know what I mean? You got schoolwork to do, bro. Like, man's just like chilling. Calm down, mate. Do you know what I mean?
You off for a skate tonight then?
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Straight up.
Nice, man.
Straight up. Shmate's picking me up and we're gonna roll. Gonna roll as long as it's dry still out there, which it should be.
Sounds good, man. So, before we wrap up, is there anyone you want to shout out, big up, plug? What's happening? What's new?
Big up G, yeah. Big up G from Boogaloo every time, first of all. Yeah, he's the fucking man. Yeah, he is, as I say, Mr. Southwest UK hip hop. Yeah, like, if you need any information, he's the man.
When he came up before, man.
Big up, Bobby.
He bought over his record collection, man, and it was gold.
Yeah, mate. He's
genuinely
got his finger on the pulse. Like, he's put us on a lot. Like, we've done a lot of gigs with Boogaloo, like, Chris Rivers, fucking loads of random artists, like, you know, who I've never really, when he used to say to them, like, I'm like, mate, who is that? Like,
when he said,
like, it's Big Pun son.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
It was like we took him to Nando's. I'm like,
Mate, it was weird. Like, and then you got
Mad.
Big Pun son coming out with his mate Whisper, like, yeah, you guys are dope. Like, and you're like in their big fucking Brooklyn accent and shit. You're like, mate, yeah, safe. But nah, big up G from Boogaloo. Big up Shaolin Monkeys, man. Like Cosm, Dread, or as he goes by Leo Wild now, and Moo.
Bobby's got. Did you see posted something on Facebook recently?
What
about an event coming up?
Yeah, man, he'll pull something out of the bag. Like
Yeah.
that Dead Prez thing he pulled out of the bag was incredible. Yeah, like it was fucking the Winchester, 200 people, mate.
Yeah.
Intimate show.
That's what
with
we want,
Dead
man.
Prez, mate. Unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? Like, some of the shows he pulls together are insane. Like he's just he's got his finger on the pulse, man.
Let's just hope it goes from like strength to strength. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I mean that's you need people like that.
Big up,
like,
Bobby.
driving forward.
Yeah, man. Big up G all day, mate. He's
Yeah.
the one. Like, but yeah, down here now, like I'd say, big up to like, you know, all the youngers doing it, mate. If anyone is picking up the torch, like shout outs to the ones who are releasing music. Do you know what I mean? There's people out there who you know who can release music who just need to get on it, and you should get on it, guys.
Nice one.
Because the scene's looking weak at the moment, so let's do it.
Nice one, man. Well, Rain MC, formerly known as Rai-Man, thanks for joining the podcast, man. So,
man.
So we've been Shotgun The Aux with Tom, Aiden, and Jake. You can find us at Shotgun The Aux, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, usual thing.
We got videos on YouTube now as well.
Do we? Has it uploaded yet? It's taking its time.
I'm actually uploading a video right now as we speak, so by the time you listen to this, there should hopefully be a good few videos on YouTube.
We've got a
Audio
back
and
catalogue
visual.
of videos. So
Audio and visual.
that's
Yeah.
it, man. We got
Mhm.
big.
Bobby's
back
our
catalogue.
first video, isn't it?
Yeah. Boogaloo should
Boogaloo's
be
our first one.
once that uploads. But yeah, big up. So we're going to play out with another track by Rain MC called Game Shows. So do you want to elaborate a little bit more about this track and what's it about?
Oh yeah, quickly. This is like old. Yeah, this is like genuinely like one of my first mixtapes, but it was the first proper hip hop track I spat, and I wanted to do a concept, so every single bar on it is a game show. So see how many you can catch, because there's like 60 in there.
Nice.
Shit, man.
And if
Sweet.
people want to find your music or where they look,
It depends what you want. Do you want the new Rain, or do you want the old Aggie Rai-Man? Yeah, because if you want the old Aggie Rai-Man, just look him up on YouTube. But now, honestly, I'm releasing a bit of music now. But if you hit me on Instagram, I can't remember my handle, and also on Facebook, just add me up.
We'll post
Yeah,
a handle on our Instagram.
Big up.
Yeah,
Big
so I
up.
can't remember it at all. It's like Shaolin Monkey Brain or something. I don't know.
Alright, sick.
Cool.
Well, this is Game Shows. Big up.
the Shaolin Monkey, but that's still on Bandcamp, isn't it, that album?
Oh yeah, shit, man. Like this is fucking Jesus Christ. Shaolin Monkeys Jungle Gym is still on Bandcamp as well, and I should be releasing the Sunday morning studio sessions on Bandcamp for free as well when the run is done. I'm not sure how many tracks will be on there yet. As long as we can go
Cool.
until
All the links we'll post in the episode description
Big up.
or
Man.
Instagram or whatever.
Well, man, thanks again. Right, this is Game Shows. That's a wrap.
Nice one. Cheers, guys. Bye bye.
safe.